Are we ready?
So welcome back guys, today it's a bit special for me because I finally found the keyboard of my dreams. And it's a keyboard that you will definitely enjoy if you're a gamer and you love Apple products. Gamers and Apple? What the fudge? Yeah, just listen out to me. First of all, I was looking for something like this for a while now, and I don't think it really existed up until the point that Corsair made it. So that's why I'm really happy that I was able to find it. Although it's a bit on the heavy side with the price, Corsair actually did make a very nice product with this very low profile keyboard right here. This K100 Air, as the name implies, is definitely very light and as light as air, but don't get fooled about this because it's actually very sturdy in hands, and that's because it has a aluminum, or I should say a brushed aluminum finish on the top with a very rigid plastic on the body, making the rest of the chassis for the keyboard itself. But it's actually very well built. You don't feel any of the wobbly keys if you just, take the keyboard out for a spin. Yeah, so following this very scientific approach, you can definitely hear there's no clicky sounds at all because the keys don't wobble that much inside the keyboard itself. That's because the keycaps have a total travel length of only 1.8 millimeters and the actuation travel rate is only of 0.8 millimeters. And that makes it absolutely a breeze to type on. Not only that, but the total actuation weight of the keys, it's only of 65 grams, and that is almost nothing. This keyboard does, however, have some sort of disadvantage because, well, actually Corsair doesn't give you any tool to remove the keycaps because they don't want you to remove the keycaps. It is actually pretty great. I don't think that they're gonna wear out anytime soon, but for all of you messy gamers out there who do tend to get buildup of crumbs underneath the keycaps at some point in life, yeah, you're gonna have a very hard time of removing those because although you can technically remove and replace and put different keys on this keyboard, actually Corsair doesn't recommend you to because you can easily damage the overall butterfly mechanism that is very similar to Apple's. I only had this keyboard for about 2 weeks now, and my honest review is that I definitely felt in love with it, and I'm pretty sure it's not only the honeymoon phase. So if you do have any sort of experience with this sort of keyboards, or maybe this exact keyboard right here, I would actually recommend, or I could strongly recommend that you leave your comments down in the box below, because I am very interested to see what happens with this keyboard maybe 6 months down the road, or maybe even longer. Not only me, but of course everybody watching this video, so that would be a great thumbs up and you would be absolutely awesome for leaving that comment down there. So just to get an idea of where I'm coming from since, well, I should say for the past 10 years, close to past 10 years right now, I've been using a MacBook Pro and I've absolutely loved that keyboard on that device. And for many years now, I've actually wished that somebody out there would create a keyboard very similar to that, but with gaming in mind. And I definitely think that Corsair takes the cake with this one. This is a non-sponsored video, it's just me buying out this very expensive, mind you, keyboard that I actually fell in love with. It's not only very light, but it's very sturdy, it's very fast. I'll talk about how fast this keyboard is a bit later on in the video because its polling rates are absolutely amazing, so it's definitely focused for those of you out there who are doing competitive gaming. And not only that, but it's definitely something that you could carry around from device to device because it has, of course, the capability of wireless communicating with your computer, and not only that, but of course you can connect it with its Bluetooth 4.2 with up to 3 more devices. Of course, it is a wireless keyboard. I always looked at this aspect as well because there were a bunch of actually wired keyboards out there that were quite getting close to this one or closer to this one anyway. But overall, in the mechanical keyboard switches, or I should say mechanical keyboard world, it's very fine to find something very slim and as responsive as this one, and also being wireless as well. So it is wireless, yes. I absolutely love the fact that Corsair took their time and actually integrated or implemented that USB Type-C port on the back of it to not only charge it and pair it, but also to use it constantly. So if you want to use well, one of its main selling features, which is the 8000 Hertz polling rate, you definitely have to use the provided cable with the USB-C port on the back of the keyboard right here. So yeah, this USB-C port definitely gives you access to that fantastic polling rate, which I think it's a bit of a marketing meme by now because I'm not really sure that anybody in this day and age can actually take advantage of 8000 Hertz of polling rate. Come on, how fast are you? And if you do think you are that fast and you need 8000 Hertz of polling rate, definitely hit me up with the comments down in the box below because I'm very curious to see how fast you could be. Yeah, speaking of polling rate, you can do, of course, 8000 Hertz polling rate when you are using the cable. And if you want to go with the route of using the wireless dongle that is included, then you can increase that with the IQ software there all the way up to 2000 Hertz of polling rate on the wireless, which is not half bad. Could be better, yes, but it's not half bad either for something being wireless. Corsair kind of thought about the users, and we as users tend to be quite sloppy here and there, and something as small as a dongle can be easily lost, and we know it. I have lost dongles, and I'm pretty sure that you have lost dongles as well. And it's pretty nice to see that actually they thought about this and they gave you a pouch or a place where you can put that dongle inside your keyboard, so that it makes it so much easier and safer overall for the dongle that you carry it around alongside with your keyboard. But if you don't want to take that dongle away from your main machine, then definitely that's not a problem, because Corsair thought about this and gave you some 3 more extra profile keys where you can use Bluetooth 4.2, which is the Bluetooth that this keyboard uses to definitely connect to other devices. You got a bunch of status indicators there on the keyboard itself. It looks like a little screen, but it's not really customizable. But you do get some, well, info there, like, the battery status and the type of connection that you are using with the keyboard right now. And not only that, but whenever you are going wireless with the included dongle, it does show there a little shield, just suggesting that you are actually encrypted with 128 bits of encryption. The battery life on this keyboard is actually very amazing as well. Corsair is actually suggesting that you could go all the way up to 50 hours on one battery charge if you are going to use those, well, that RGB on that keyboard, and you can definitely go nuts with the RGB and customize it very, very easily in the iQ software. I don't really like that you have to use a software for that, but you do get a button if you want to get around this issue where you can just basically control the amount of light that comes out of these keys. You can't do anything about the pattern of lights and how and what and where you want to light it up and what color, but you can definitely at least turn it off and on with 5 levels, I believe, of brightness with only one switch on the keyboard. But of course, I would recommend, same as Corsair, to just install their application, because it makes it so much neater to basically address all the RGB inside the computer. And if you are using, of course, any other Corsair products, you can definitely line them up very easily inside their software, because it's definitely very nice and easy to use once you get it all set up. So what are the great benefits of this keyboard? Well, first of all, it is very comfortable. Although the keycaps are actually indented inwards, so you do have the 4 raised corners of the keycaps, they actually feel amazing while typing on it. You don't get any sort of fatigue, and you also get the 2 levels of adjustability on the back of the keyboard, so you can raise it up slightly if you feel like you want to do so. So it seems that comfort was very high on Corsair's list, and they definitely did a wonderful job at it. And yeah, I think that it's absolutely amazing to type on this keyboard if you are looking for something that is very low profile, like this Corsair K100 Air right here. They don't have a 10 keyless version right now at the moment of shooting this video, but maybe that's in the works, because it gives you more space to move that mouse around without having to sacrifice that extra space. Alongside the fact that it is very light, and I absolutely love that, it is actually pretty sturdy. I don't know how actually Corsair managed to pull that off, but they actually did, and actually feels amazing in hand. This keyboard can also work with PC, with Mac, with PlayStation. That's a very nice addition, because not all the keyboards out there work well with PlayStation. This goes quite well right out of the box. If you want to use Bluetooth with your PlayStation, then definitely you can just hit one key and your PlayStation will just work with this keyboard. So that's very nice for all of you console gamers out there who are looking for a keyboard that, well, kind of matches a black PS5 right there. And this kind of does, and it actually feels amazing while using it as well. And of course, so that you don't get to feel left out, for all of you Xbox users out there, this goes well right out of the box as well. You do get one braided cable with this keyboard, which is actually quite surprisingly long. It is 1.5 meters long, it is braided, and it is USB-A to USB-C on one end, and they actually recommend that you stick with USB 2.0 or greater when charging it, so that you can get all that extra juice that is required to charge this puppy at the given rate, which is very nice. But anyway, it will work with any basic USB-A whatever port that they might have. So other than the cable, you only get, of course, the included dongle, and that's pretty much what you get with this keyboard right here. It does have a pretty nice pattern on the back of it, and of course it has these rubber feet that go not only on the top side here where you have your height adjustments, but it also has one very long strip of silicone or rubber right here at the bottom of the keyboard, and it is as long as the keyboard is, and it looks absolutely okay, and it does a great job of sticking to the desk regardless if you are going to use a mat or not. I absolutely love the media keys on this keyboard. They feel amazing. I absolutely love this wheel right here. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel metallic. I'm not really sure if it is metallic or not. It feels kind of plasticky, but it's definitely sturdy, and there is no sort of tactile feedback from it. You just scroll it up and down and you get to see on the screen what you're doing, but it works very, very well, and I like to see that it is integrated in this keyboard alongside with the other 4 media keys, which are of course back, play, pause, and forward, and of course the mute button. Not only that, but of course on the other side, symmetrical to the media keycaps, you have the three most important keys right here. Which one of them stands for your profile, the other one is to control the brightness with or without IQ installed. And of course the most important button there, which is the block windows key, so you don't get to remove yourself from the game and get grilled by everybody else. The keycaps. Yeah, so this has been my review of the K100S right here. This is absolutely a brilliant keyboard. If you are looking for something else, there is another alternative out there, and that is the Logitech G915 keyboard. So if you want to see a review about that, you can definitely check the link up here. I will have a review ready for that keyboard as well, and it might just be ready by the time this video releases. And yeah, that is one alternative which should be just a bit cheaper, but not too cheap either, because that's a very amazing experience as well. But this definitely takes the cake as being the new technology, the new keyboard, the new kid on the block, and is definitely very nice to use. Guys, if you feel like you've learned anything in today's video, don't forget to stay awesome and hit me up in that comment section, as I'll do as always my best to go through each and every one of those comments. Thank you, stay awesome, and see you guys in the next one.